Hi, I'm Stuart. Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back. Thanks for viewing my video. In this video, I am going to talk about my favorite authors that I discovered in 2025. I got this idea when watching a video done by Melodie at Melodie's Book Nook. It seemed like a really good idea, and thanks to Melodie for doing her video. There are 7 authors I discovered in 2025 that I want to definitely read more from. The first is B.K. Borison. I read her First Time Caller. I really enjoyed it. At the beginning of the book, the daughter of the heroine in the book calls in to a late night radio show, a show where the second lead of the book talks about romance and gives advice. Her mother catches her daughter doing that, and she ends up being a co-host on the show. And the heroine and the hero develop a relationship over time. Not a spoiler, if you read romances, you know how they turn out. Just really well done in this book. I really like the characters, the supporting characters too. The second author is Abby Jimenez. I read her Say You Remember Me. This book was a good romance, but what set it apart for me was that they talked about the heroine in the book. Her mother was declining mentally, and there was a fair amount written about the difficulty of caring for her, the decisions you have to make, how tiring it can be. And this struck home for me because I was the primary caregiver for my mother in her declining years, and difficult situation, can be really wearing, tough to do. There's a role reversal where the child becomes a parent. There's a lot to it, so I really love that part of the book. I love the romance too, but I thought what really set it apart was that the discussion of what it's like to deal with a parent who's mentally declining. I should have said that B.K. Borison, the sequel to First Time Caller, just came out, and it is something I plan to read, hopefully soon. And Abby Jimenez, I have recently gotten another book from her, so that I plan to read too. So definitely the first books wanted me to read more from them. The third author is Linda Cheng. I read her Gorgeous Gruesome Faces. I loved it. At the beginning of the book, we learn that the 2 main characters have had a falling out. They were 2 of the 3 members of who starred in a K-drama and then a K-pop group. They were both based in the U.S. The third member died under strange circumstances, and the first 2 members had a falling out. There is, though, a new show that's going to take place in Atlanta, a kind of recruit and then train and judge potential idols, K-pop, K-drama idols, and the 2 main leads apply to it, and the story goes from there. There's horror, body horror, supernatural elements, trying to rekindle friendships, how far people will do things, to accomplish things. And I really love the book. I have already, early this year, read the second book from Linda Cheng, Beautiful, Brutal Bodies, and I loved it too, so I was justified in thinking I wanted to read more from her. The fourth author is Taylor Jenkins Reid. I read both The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Atmosphere. 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was a story that talked about the long career of Evelyn Hugo, who was a famous, in some ways infamous actress, and also intersperses the story of the woman that Evelyn Hugo selected to tell her story to. This is a really well-written book. And then I read Atmosphere, and that was in around 1980. The heroine was working as an astronomy professor at a college, and NASA opened up astronaut training to women. She applied but didn't get in the first year. She got in the second year. Book talks about what it's like being a woman and trying to train and succeed in a man's world. Talks about the space shuttle program. There's a forbidden relationship. There's some family issues. A really impressive book. I don't have a specific Taylor Jenkins Reid book that I want to choose as my next read from her, but there's certainly some. I want to read all her books, so at some point there'll be another book from her. Possibly Daisy Jones and the Six, because that's a kind of about a rock and roll band, and that would kind of be up my alley. The fifth author is Mona Awad. I read her Bunny and I loved it. It's a book that is loved by some and disliked by others. The average rating isn't that great, but I stand with the people who loved it. Bunny is about a woman who is in her final year in an MFA program at a graduate school. It starts at the beginning of her final year. She is in classes with 4 women who frequently refer to each other as Bunny, and the heroine is she both wants to be part of their group and is both repelled by it. Eventually she's invited to something they call the Smut Salon, and that leads to her becoming part of the group. And it's a strange book, a lot going on, but I really enjoyed it. I have her Rouge, and I think it's called Bunny We Love You, which is kind of the sequel and prequel to Bunny. So I already have both of those to read. The 6th author is Hazelwood. I read her Bride and loved it. It is a were-vampire romance. There's a lot of politics involved. I really liked her world building. I like the characters. It isn't a book meant to be taken totally seriously, but it was a very enjoyable read. I've already read earlier this year the sequel to Bridesmaids, and I want to read more from her. I do have several books of hers. The only slight concern of mine is Bride and Mate were not her typical books, but we'll see. I have watched several virtual events with her too, and she's a very engaging person, very amusing, very energetic, somebody I like to support. Those are the 6 authors that, upon reading their books, I really wanted to read more. There were other authors. I love their books, but I just don't have a strong desire to read other of their books. I may well do it. It's just not something as high on my list of wants as the 6 authors I mentioned. I would be interested to know if there were any authors you read for the first time in 2025 who have become a favorite of yours. If you'd like to let me know, please reply in the comments. If you can't think of anything else to reply, please add an emoji. Perhaps a bunny emoji for bunny, or a rocket ship emoji for atmosphere, or an emoji of your choice. I hope you're having a wonderful reading week. I hope you're having a wonderful week in general. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, please subscribe, please hit the bell to get notified. Please hit the bell to get notified when I upload future videos.